Welcome to today's class. This is video number 2. In the previous video, you learned how to change the subject in the given equation. Here I have some more questions which you will solve. There are 4 questions in total. So you will just solve these questions and we can discuss this on our weekend classes. Again, you have these questions from your book, and here also you have to make X the subject. So this is another set of questions for you. So you can solve these questions, and again we will discuss it in the weekend classes. You can solve them, keep it ready, and then we can discuss in the weekend classes if you have any difficulty with any one of them. Now the next topic is rearrange this equation to make y the subject. So this is the equation. There are 2 ways to do this, both of which can be useful in different situations. The first method, y plus q has been multiplied by p. Undo this first, divide both sides by p. So as you can see, we will divide both sides by p, and then we get x by p equals to y plus q. And next you will have to subtract q from both sides, so you get x by p minus q equals to y. So after subtracting q from both sides, and then next q has been subtracted from x by p. It is not written as x minus q by p. It says you have to pay attention, x by p minus q. Writing this way, x minus q by p is wrong. Why it is wrong? This is because we divide by p and then subtract q. First we divide by p and then subtract q, and here first we subtract q and then divide by p. So mathematically that is wrong. You have to be attentive for that. Now let us learn method 2. So method 2, again we have written the equation, expand the brackets. So p times y plus q times y, as you can see here. Sorry, p times y plus p times q after expanding. Then we will subtract pq from both sides. So x minus pq is equal to py. And then divide both sides by p. So you can see it is being divided by p both sides. And pp gets cancelled and you are left with y. So y equals to what? X minus pq by p. And then further simplify it. X by p minus pq by p will give you just q is equal to y. Compare this with the previous answer. They are both correct, but they have been written in different ways. I hope it is clear to you so far. X minus pq by p here can be written as x divided by p minus pq divided by p, and pq divided by p, then p and p gets cancelled and you are left with q, and here it is y already. Then you have another set of questions which you are required to do, so you can hopefully solve them. And as I told you, if you are not able to solve, please do discuss with me during the weekend classes. Now some of the formula or equation will have fractions, and you are required to make the subject. Make x the subject, as for example in this case. First you need to work out what you need to undo. it would be easier to arrange if there were no fractions. So first we should undo the fractions first. So fraction is in the denominator. So in order to undo with x, you multiply both sides by x. So what do you get? Multiply left hand side by x. So x and x gets cancelled. You get x plus a plus 5. And 3b times x gives you 3bx. Now, as you have to isolate x from the other terms, so 3b is in the right hand side. So divide both sides by 3b. So what will happen? If you divide right hand side by 3b, so see what happens next. X is alone and a plus 5 divided by 3b. This is what you get. I hope this explanation was clear to you. Now x is the subject. You have another set of questions here. You can pause the video and solve them. For each of these formula, make x the subject. Write your working on paper. Click next to see the solution. Solution is provided, so you can see those solutions after first you solve them. And the solutions are given here. You can see them later. Any doubt, you are most welcome to discuss with me anytime in the class, or even you can ask me questions on what. Now here you are asked to rearrange quadratic formula. Make x the subject of this formula. It is a quadratic formula because x has a power of 2. So now in this case, how to make the x its subject? In words, this formula takes a variable x, square it, multiplies by a, and then add f, and finally divide everything by e. This is how in word you will say. To make x the subject, undo the process. So let us see. Multiply by e, because e is in the denominator. You have to multiply both sides by e, and then this e will get cancelled. So you get now ax squared, and in this step now subtract f both sides. So minus f and plus f will get cancelled, and here it will be be minus f. And next step would be divide both sides by a. So x square alone will be left. And further in the next step, take the square root, because you have to find x only. So take a square root of the right hand side, and that will give you the answer. And x will become the subject. Now here are again some questions for you. For each of the formula, make x the subject. Write your working on paper. Write next to see. Click next to see the solutions. So first you will have to solve them, and you can see the solutions. These are the solutions. So just solve them and discuss with me in my weekend classes with you. We can discuss all this. So that's all for today's class.